So, for the last couple of years, TikTok Shop has felt like the Wild West of e-commerce, right? Fortunes were being made overnight, and brands either had to adapt like crazy or just get left in the dust. But that whole landscape, it's shifting, and it's shifting fast. So, the big question is it still worth it in 2025? Well, what we're going to do here is break down the whole evolution of TikTok Shop and lay out a new, much smarter blueprint for building a brand that can actually last. But look, to really get where we're going, we first have to understand how culture itself has fundamentally changed.
All right, to really wrap our heads around where things are headed, you've got to grasp the massive shift that's already happened. This quote just nails it. You see, platforms like TikTok, they're not just a mirror reflecting what's popular anymore. No way. They are the operating system where culture gets created, where we all decide what's cool, one scroll at a time.
And this is a huge deal because it's completely rewired how we all shop. We've moved from an era of actively searching for something we want to a totally new era of passively scrolling and discovering things we never even knew we needed. And understanding this one change is the key to unlocking everything else.
Yeah, and this slide, it just lays out the two worlds perfectly. The search era, the age of Google, was all about answering a question you already had. It was all about intent, about knowing the right keywords to type in. But the scroll era is totally different. It's like this. Think of your TikTok feed as the world's biggest shopping mall. You're not there with a specific list, you're just browsing, right? And brands, they have to literally ambush you with motion and entertainment to get your attention and make a sale. It's a completely different ballgame.
And that right there is the crucial takeaway, isn't it? If your strategy is still built for the old search bar world, you're basically trying to win a Formula One race with a horse and buggy. It's just not going to work. The game has completely changed. In this new world, your creative content, that's your bid. And the algorithm, that's your new ad budget. Okay, so this brings us to the first, let's call it, era of TikTok Shop. And honestly, you can only describe it as a total gold rush. For a very short, very intense period, it was the fastest, easiest path to making money that e-commerce has ever seen, period.
And the model that was winning back then wasn't about building some beautiful, polished brand page. Oh no. It was way simpler, way more aggressive. It was called the violent creator model. And it was, well, violent. Basically, you just shotgun your product out to dozens and dozens of creators, let them throw a million different ideas at the wall, and then you just wait. All you had to do was wait for just one video to catch fire, to get blessed by the algorithm. And once it did, the platform would blast it everywhere, creating this massive wave of familiarity that people mistook for trust. And the sales? They just poured in.
And this quote just perfectly sums up the thinking back then. This wasn't about some perfectly curated, beautiful Instagram post. Forget that. It was a pure numbers game. The profit came from just flooding the zone, throwing tons of half-decent ideas at the algorithm and letting it pick the winner. It was all about taking as many swings at the bat as you possibly could.
But you know how it goes. Like every gold rush in history, this one couldn't last forever. The creator model got way too greedy, the math just stopped working, and then the platform itself. It made a huge pivot. And when reality hit, man, it hit hard.
You can really see the collapse happen in 3 super quick phases. So first you had the boom, right? Creators with just a phone were making absolutely life-changing money. Then, of course, the gurus show up, telling creators they hold all the cards. Commissions went through the roof. And then, the final nail in the coffin, the platform did what platforms always do. It changed the rules. TikTok choked the organic reach, turning off the free money tap to force brands to start spending on paid ads instead.
And that whiplash, it taught some really painful but absolutely vital lessons. Lesson 1, platforms are not your friend, they're your landlord. And as the neighborhood gets nicer, the rent always goes up. Lesson 2, you can never, ever build your entire business on something you don't control, like free reach. And lesson 3, if you rely on middlemen who don't give a damn about your profit and loss, they will eventually get so expensive that they break your business model.
So, okay. That whole era of just sending out free stuff and crossing your fingers, yeah, that's over. But that doesn't mean the opportunity is gone, not at all. It just means you need a much more sophisticated, systems-based approach now. The tourists are packing their bags, and the real operators, they're moving in. And this is where we get to the new blueprint for how to win.
Okay, if you take one thing away from this whole thing, let it be this slide. This is critical. You have to realize you're playing 2 completely separate games now. Game A is TikTok, the actual feed. Think of it as your attention engine.
The goal here is just to get massive, insane exposure for as cheap as possible. It's all about creative, speed, and just pure frequency. Game B is TikTok Shop. That's just the checkout. Its only goal is to capture that impulse buy, and it's now driven almost entirely by paid ads. Once you separate these two in your mind, everything starts to make sense.
And here's the magic trick. Here's why splitting those two games up is so damn powerful. It's this idea of the dark funnel. The smartest brands right now, they're not even linking their shop on every single post. Instead, they're using the TikTok feed to create so much noise, so much attention, that it just spills over and drives sales everywhere else. People searching for their brand on Amazon, typing their URL directly into the browser. Yeah, the attribution is a total mess, but the cash in the bank is very, very real. And that's the big brain move here. Stop optimizing for perfect attribution, optimize for cash.
Okay, so the big question is, how on earth do you feed this attention monster at the scale you need to make that dark funnel actually work? Well, you can't do it with expensive creators anymore, that's for sure. The answer? You stop relying on other people. You build your own internal, high-volume, low-cost content factory, and you power it with AI.
And look, this is not some far-off science fiction idea. This is what the top brands are literally doing right now. You can systematize the 4 key types of content. You can use GPT for all your scripts. You can use tools like Heygen to create AI avatars so you always have a person for your talking head videos. Midjourney can spit out an endless supply of graphics for slideshows, and 11 Labs can create incredibly human-like voiceovers. But the real heart of it all is what we're calling the angle engine, basically a master document of all your brand's selling points that you feed into GPT to generate a never-ending stream of new ideas.
And the numbers here, this is what makes this a complete game changer. When you build this machine in-house, your cost to create a single post can plummet to like $1. Think about that, a single dollar. And you can reuse and remix everything infinitely. You are in complete control of the speed, the tone, and the output.
All right, we're at the final piece of the puzzle here. Once you've got that dark funnel working its magic and driving all this attention, you need to make sure you have pipes in place to catch the money wherever it decides to fall. The days of being a purist, only selling on your own site, those are over. You have to be a pluralist now.
And that means building your business on what are now the 3 essential pillars of modern e-commerce. First up, Amazon. You just have to be there for the trust and the convenience that over 100 million Prime members just expect. Second, you need your own direct-to-consumer website. That's where you make your best margin and where you own the customer relationship. And third, yes, you still need TikTok Shop. It's the best place to capture that pure impulse buy from the I want it now generation.
I love this quote because it just perfectly captures the new reality. See, AI isn't here to replace your brand's soul. It's here to replace all your excuses. It's what lets you finally operate like a real media company, to scale your content to the moon without having to scale your payroll. It's the tool that makes this whole high-speed blueprint actually possible.
So, yeah, is the easy money gold rush from a year ago over? Absolutely. And you know what? That's a great thing. The tourists, the people looking for a quick buck, they're leaving. And that's creating a massive opportunity for the real operators, the people who are willing to build actual systems. The path forward is clearer than ever. You separate the attention from the checkout, you build your own AI content factory, and you build a multi-channel sales system. So the only real question left for you is, are you ready to get to work and build?